What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hockey Playoff Edition with Mike and Xavier. I am Mike. This is my guy, Xavier. Xavier, happy Tuesday, man. How are you?
Feeling great. As you can see, game 5 tonight. So I'm excited.
Um, Me, on the other hand, I'm not feeling great. Fucking Rangers. Excuse my
Oh
language. Game
God.
4. I'm not even
Oh
gonna get
God.
into. I'm not even gonna get too much into detail about that. It was an abysmal performance, but I did pick the Penguins in the 7 games. But to go down 3-1, they should never be in this position. So, but that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. Um, but we gotta talk about um an interesting game. Panthers versus Capitals game 4. This was a game which Capitals should have won. They should have been up 3-1 this morning. Panthers were on the verge of going down 3-1. They were just about 2 minutes away, I believe it was. But I call last night's game the comeback Cats. They escaped Washington with a victory in game 4 in overtime. It was a very physical game. Both Panthers and Capitals, they combined for 102 hits in last night's contest. Panthers had more shots on goal, 32-16. Capitals had 14 block shots. Panthers only had 10. But the Panthers, man, I don't know. The series could go either way. It could go either way. Even though I do feel like the Capitals have been playing much better than the Panthers, in my opinion. But I would like to say this. Kuznetsov, he scored the second goal. He capitalized it after TJ Oshie delivered a hit on Sam Bennett in the neutral zone to cause a turnover, which Capitals capitalized on the goal. A lot of people feel that TJ's hit was controversial. He should have been penalized about that. But right when he came out of the bench, they found the opening to him, and he hit the net, and it went in. So that was crazy to witness. But yeah, what you guys say about last night's game?
So not just last night's game, just this series overall. Very surprising with Washington. Coming into this game ahead 2-1 in the series. Um, we all knew that Washington wasn't the biggest threat coming into the playoffs due to the injuries that they were dealing with and the absences of certain players that they were dealing with closing out the regular season. But who would have thought that the Washington Capitals coming into this series, they were going to lay it off on the President Trophy winners, Florida Panthers. Um, I still think the Cats come out of this, in 6 or 7. I think they still win this series. But lately it's just been mostly Washington and Panthers, just barely struggling and chomping at the bit to get these games in their way, having them win. I believe Samsonov and Bobrovsky have been great for both teams, for Washington and Florida for the respective teams. I think they've been great. One of the biggest issues that is coming from Florida is their power play. They're 0 for 13 in this series on power plays. So again, we've seen what Washington could do, especially with TJ Oshie, Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and Wilson. They're doing their thing. We could see what they could do. So you have to take advantage of the Florida Panthers on your power play, on your man advantage. I did see the game winner by Carter Verhaeghe. It was the second of the night and the third of the playoffs, which is amazing. This is a guy who's coming off a 24 goal and 31 assist season, the best of his career. I believe it's his third year or his fourth year in the league, and a guy who could come from the bottom depth to score for you, and for then again win the game as well. That is something that you would want from your depth as well, Florida Panthers. I mentioned depth so much in this series lately because every hockey team needs depth. Every hockey team needs your third and fourth lines to get going. I believe the lines were shuffled a bit entering this game as well, so I think that benefited them in their favor. They only held Washington to 16 shots. Special shout out to Sam Reinhart. his first career playoff goal coming with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in the third, just to tie the game and force that overtime. Poor Sam Reinhart, he's been dealing with his years in Buffalo that he never got a taste of the playoffs. So it's nice to finally see him score his first career playoff goal. As far as the TJ Oshie hit, I believe I think I disagree with you. I think it was a legal hit. It was a good hockey hit. Sam Bennett, if you really watch the replay, you see Sam Bennett had his head down. He kind of like did something with the puck, and where like I guess he was gonna try to change his route of where he was going down the ice. And by the time that it happened, it was too little, too late. I don't think that TJ Oshie went high. He didn't leave his skates never left the ice, so he never aimed for the head. I just feel like he was bracing for it, and Sam Bennett more or less landed on, his head on his arm. And thankfully Sam Bennett landed okay. He never hit his head on the ice, that's a good sign. But I still feel like it was a good hockey hit. It's unfortunate for the Florida Panthers that it led straight to a goal with Ovi. Ovi always has his eyes open everywhere on the ice. And, he assisted Kuznetsov, and he let the bird out. He let the bird out after his goal. So you know how that goes. And Hathaway as well. Hathaway on the empty net miss. Right now, I don't think we're talking much about that. With 3 minutes left on the third, Hathaway had an empty net opportunity to seal the deal, and it hits the post and out, committing the icing, and then leading to that that Sam Reinhart game time goal. So moving forward, it was a very entertaining game. I'm loving the overtime so far in these playoffs. And moving forward, Florida needs to get their stuff together with the power play in order to come out of this series on top.
I agree. That's one thing I forgot to highlight, the power plays. They need to step it up. Now that the series shifts back to Florida, they have to take advantage of those power plays. I agree. I didn't feel that TJ's hit was dirty and should have been penalized. That's something that a lot of people on internet are saying, and on social media, that they were not too happy about that. I mean, especially if you're a Capitals fan, you're not gonna be happy about that. But I don't feel like it was. I feel like it was a good hit. Now, Scott Stevens, we forget how the great defenseman Scott Stevens from the Devils. In today's NHL, he would have not played in today's NHL because that man was known for leveling guys. He was known for. I'll not forget the hit he hit on Eric Lindros, Paul Correa. If you look at those clips and you look at TJ's hit, it's two different types of hits. But that's when the NHL was NHL. Clearly, it's not the same like how it used to be, violent and physical. But that hit was perfectly fine in my eyes. So I don't have anything negative to say about that. But yeah, it was unfortunate that it led to a goal, but that's playoffs for you. Any mistake, any hit, any situation, any moment could change the outcome of the game or the situation. So go ahead.
No, my fault. I kind of like backtracked. It was not me backtrack. I kind of had like a brain fart. My fault. Keep going.
So for game 5, I just gotta ask this. Actually, is a 2-question for game 5. What do you think the Washington Capitals need to do to win game 5? And who do you believe will win game 5?
Well, I believe Washington still comes out on top in game 5. I do see Florida taking this series back to Florida. I think they could steal one back in Washington for game 6. I think Washington doesn't really have to do much in regards of how they're playing. What is Samsonov doing on net? I think everybody is very well educated and leveled in knowing what the mission is here, that they don't really got to change much. As far as what Florida needs to do, I think Florida, again, they have to be better on the power play. If you have to juggle some lines a bit to keep it, contain that neutral zone so that the Washingtons are not ending up in your own zones, shooting the puck on net for Bobrovsky to be working. I think the Florida Panthers should be good. But in terms of Washington to continue doing what they're doing, they're still going to be the Washington Capitals. Ovechkin's still going to be Ovechkin. So they're still a threat. You just can't put your guard down on these guys. I firmly believe Game 5 it will be Washington, and I believe TJ Oshie will be the guy that leads them to the victory in Game 5.